Hi, welcome to this session of Advanced Java class. We're going to talk about generics and some pitfalls in generics. I started out with creating a test case to demonstrate things, demonstrate one certain way of how you create an API. And what we're going to do is, as an example, just an example, we will try to create a copy method, which takes all the elements of one list and copies them to another list. Of course, as you know, collections.copy does exactly that, but we want to play around with the parameters today to find out what exactly is a pitfall using generics, where they can be useful, and what we see when we play around with them. Okay, so starting out with a copy test, a test case for a copy method. I create a list of integer called li, and in the setup I add two elements. So then we have two test cases. One case is I want to copy all those elements of li into another list of integer. And in the second test case, I want to copy all of them into a list of number. As you know, number extends the other way around. Integer extends number, so number is a superclass of integer, so this shall work or should work. It might work. Okay. I created a copy method over here, copy class. No method yet, so let's start with having IntelliJ or your IDE create that method for us. And it starts out by public static void copy list of integer. We will call this parameter source, and the other parameter shall be called dest. Don't want to worry about the implementation here, so what we do is just dest at all source, and that's it. We're going to worry about the parameters. Okay, now this looks pretty good. Now we can make this a default visibility, because we just don't need the public modifier here. Okay, let's go back to the test. What do we see? Of course, this works now. This compiles because we had IntelliJ create this method. The one at the bottom does not yet work because, of course, as you just saw, we created a method with two list of integer, but here we have a list of number. And even though number is a superclass of integer, the list of number is not a superclass of list of integer. The generics are not covariant as it's called. So if you have a list of number, you cannot assign a list of integer to that list of number. You can copy all the elements, yes, but the lists are not assignable. That's why this does not work. So what can you do to fix that? Well, we could try and put a number here. This still compiles. Now this compiles, but as I just said, the list of numbers is not compatible to the list of integer. Now this breaks, because this list of integer, this doesn't work. Okay, what else can we do? Well, you've already heard about wildcards. So let's start out with a wildcard here. So let's say wildcard extends number. Integer extends number, so the wildcard matches. That should be okay. And do the same thing over here. So we have list of question mark extends number, something that extends number as a destination. Now we have a compile error over here. We'll look at that in a second. But let's take a look at the copy test first. And as you can see, everything compiles fine. Now both work. Those calls are okay. But now we have a problem with adding all the elements. Now we can't add the source elements to the dest elements. Now why is that? The error message tells us that some question mark extends capture of question mark of extends number cannot be applied to just one question mark extending number. So we have a capture of a question mark, which means we have one type of list and we have another type of list. So we have two different generics here. The first question mark is different from the second question mark. We don't know exactly what types they are yet. This is decided at runtime, not at compile time. So this is not possible, what we've done here. How can we fix this? Well, we could try and extract this as generic, like this. We create a t extending number, and just using a t back here. T is the first one you use, stands for type. So some type extending number. So we have a list of t and another list of t, and we can add all the things that we want. That looks pretty good. Let's go back to our test. Integer and integer still okay, but integer and number now does break because, okay, right, they both have to be the same type, the same type t. Even though t is something that extends number. Again, like in the first case, we had the list of integer and list of number. Now we have a t. T has to be the same thing in both cases. We didn't achieve that. So what else can we do? We could declare a t here, just some generic type. And we could say that we use something that extends t. And over here too, something extends t. So now we have a generic type t, and we want that type to be extended by the subtype in this list and the subtype in this list. Okay, let's go to the test first. Both copy methods work. Number is extending t, integer is extending t. The t would be class number in this case. But now again, the copy does not work. Same thing as before, right? So question mark extending a capture of something that extends t. And we only have a capture, we have a different capture of question mark that extends t. Again, those two aren't the same. Now if you think about it again, the first one, the source, that's a list of some wildcard extending t. Do you want to copy it to a list also of a wildcard extending t? Now this might not work because maybe this is an integer. Okay, let's think of t as a number. So this might be an integer, for example, and this might be a float. They both extend number. So something's wrong here. And what's wrong is this extends. If you think about the example again, we can't assign an integer to a float list. But what we can do is if this is a super. So if this is super, this could be, the t could be a number or something else. So this is super t, super of number. Well, there's nothing super of number, so it must be number, but anything that extends number we can copy in there. This compiles. This goes all right. Let's go to the test. This works too. Okay, so if I run the test, it's compiling, starting the daemon, all that stuff. While recording, the CPU is a little bit more in use than usually. Okay, so 20 seconds, build successful. So both tests passed. So this is a valid solution. Okay, now, as you saw on the way, what we've always encountered when we had problems were some question marks extending something, or one capture of one question mark being different from another capture of another question mark. That's what you always deal with when you use those wildcards, which means use them as few times as possible. Those question marks can become a hassle. Now, if you take a look at this method again, I created it in a way that you have two parameters. Of course, you could think of just returning this list, right? So you could go and say, hey, I don't want to be don't want this to be void. I want this to be a list of something super T. And I want to return this dest here. And I create a list of something super T. The problem with this approach is that the caller of your list, of your method, of your copy method, has to deal with this sort of list. You will always have something with a wildcard here. It's not working anymore like this, that you can have a list of number. You can try it out for yourself, and if you create an API with some sort of generics, keep in mind that the wildcards will be in place for your users. So make careful or use them wisely. Yeah, that's it for today. Please go around, take a look around, and find things that might be generic. Take a look at the JDK implementations. Go ahead and take a look what they've done with the collections.copy, for example. Same thing that we did here. They did a little bit different, but the parameters, they are the same. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.